saw in the field was that during extreme cold conditions, there was an air leakage that caused an intermittent brake apply. We quickly defined the bookends, we quickly defined the root cause, and we came up with two remedies. One was what we are referring to as a temporary kit, and this was really targeted at those fleets that were in the extreme cold weather conditions, and these are temperatures that were significantly below zero. This was a temporary kit that disables the traction relay valve and disables stability and traction. So these vehicles will need to be touched again, but it did get the fleets back on the road that were in the far northern regions in the extreme weather. We also developed very quickly a permanent kit, which we began to supply to the OEs. We reported to NHTSA under the NHTSA guidelines, and under those guidelines we have to coordinate all the activities with the OEs, and it's the OEs that we're working with very closely. We also announced just last week that we're ready to administer our aftermarket position. Parts are available for those aftermarket customers, so that we announced that last week. We work very closely with the OEs. We had daily conversations with them, sometimes multiple conversations per day, and came up with this permanent fix to do two things. One, to keep their lines going in production, and those vehicles, it's important to note, those vehicles do not need to be touched again. It's a permanent fix. They were able to continue production. We did not shut down any of our OE customers. There were some vehicles, of course, that the OEs had already produced that once NHTSA was notified, those vehicles couldn't be released to the commercial field. So we needed to go touch those vehicles and replace with a permanent kit. So those vehicles as well do not need to be touched again, and those were released by the OEs for sale. We're working closely with the OEs to get part flow going out to the dealers and the parts distributors. This is a global supply chain for the permanent kit, so it's taken a little bit of time to increase capacity, but we have successfully done that, and now we have a very good flow of parts that are coming. And in fact, we're on plan with the OEs, and things are progressing as we expected and reviewed with them.